What's up, guys? Welcome back to Large Lads, episode 14. If I seem slightly covered in blood or sweaty, it's because Sam just kind of beat me up during our boxing episode. Tune into that one.
Yeah, you guys will. This will go up tomorrow, so they'll have the boxing will go up today. Large Lads will be up.
So if
tomorrow.
you missed that, tune in.
So check out yesterday's video if you don't know the context.
General topic for this one is just talking about like lifting as it applies to like regular life and strength training, because there's a lot of like real life strength or like just gym strength, show muscle versus go muscle, if you will, and I think there are some like pretty big misconceptions.
People swing like either extreme, where it's like being a bigger, stronger person is completely useless.
Yep.
Or, dude, Brian Shaw would mug everyone ever. I mean, Brian would do all right. If Brian had basic grappling, I think that like when you're unrelated theory, I think when you scale these guys who are like 400 pounders with massive frames, I think that the degree to which they're going to become proficient strikers, more or less non-existent, but if you teach them proficient like wrestling and jiu-jitsu, legitimately proposing a problem to people far more experienced in like mixed martial arts than them. But I think people like kind of go too far in one direction or the other, where they're just like, you get like Bradley Martin, I think, was leaning into it. It was a bit, and everybody was biting so goddamn hard on that bit, and it worked great for him. 260, bro, ha ha ha. Well, it's like, yeah, dude, like if we're talking Devin Haney, the boxer who he initially called out, yeah, he's got no experience with grappling. Is he gonna be able to sleep Bradley Martin before Bradley Martin just kind of grabs him? Probably not. He's not that big.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like, because who else? He called out like Cheeto Vera. Yeah, you're getting armbarred. You're getting gas and you're going to get armbarred.
There's like the big thing of like, muscles mean nothing in a fight, which like, you know, as I just found out, cardio's pretty hard.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But also there is like some correlation of just like total strength and physicality matters.
Skill roughly equated. Like the way I've always kind of like told people, right, as someone who's done a bit of both and gone from being like a smaller guy with a lot of skill to a bigger guy with less skill, compare and contrast.
Yeah.
Skill equated, then size starts to matter, and general physicality matters a ton. But the other part of that also is when you have two people that are very unskilled, the one that actually is trying to hurt the other person almost always wins.
I do remember in high school, it was like the kids that would just spaz the hardest usually did weirdly well.
Yeah, like people who are like not well adjusted, they're like, I'm gonna attack you. It's like, they usually win, because the other person's like trying to figure out what's going on, like, is it okay to throw this punch as hard as like they're kind of navigating, am I even fighting the whole fight? The other person is going for blood. So it's like usually when you have two untrained people, my personal experience, usually like tenacity and physicality. Cardio comes in heavy depending on how long before it's broken up.
Yeah.
If we're talking like, a school fight.
Yeah.
School fights never last more than 30 seconds, so
that's my real.
Max is the god of school.
I can do a crazy
like
30 seconds.
When it's considered that you won if the other guy falls for any reason. So you could just kind of shitty push trip him and be like, oh yeah, I won. They broke it up.
Oh, I got a large lad story for this.
Okay.
In high school, I was not a big partier, right? But it was like one of my friends like needed me to drop him off. It was like a party in a park basically. There's like got a keg out there, and I showed up to drop him off. And someone was like, "Max, you want to fight someone?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure," because I was like a stupid shithead 16-year-old. And they're like, "All right," and like they went around and like asked people, and they're like, "No, I don't want to fight Max." And eventually, some dude was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it," right? And like put boxing gloves on, was like got in a circle. And I was wearing flip flops.
Oh, is this the one you fell?
Yeah, and like we were like kind of going out a little bit, and I slipped in the mud. And like the first before that happened, it was like me just like, you know, having a little bit of fun. And I was like, I need to prove my honor and like truly like immoral. Just beat the shit out of it. Like I really fucked up. Because I was like, there's a
like beat red and bears like
exactly. And it was like the whole crowd's like, oh, he talked nice. And I got up and was like, I'm going to like this
to kill him.
I was like to defend glory, like in my honor. I pinned him against the crowd. Just fucking, oh god, it's like, you know, really lame of me. But I also was like, I fell down, which like you can't do in a high school fight.
Well, yeah, that's how you determine winners, is who falls over.
Oh my god.
Or if you both fall over, who's on top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, people, it's stupid in either direction. Like you have lifters like, yo, fuck you up. Like there's some like West Side type dude.
Yeah.
Like fucking.
There's something really weird about.
Forget who it was, but one of the old West Side dudes like was constantly posting about like, yeah, I beat up boxers all the time. Clearly shit ones. What are you talking about? And it's like, okay, you're way far in the other direction, fatty. Like,
there's something really stupid about constantly thinking about fighting.
You're choking down anadrols every morning, and you probably are going to gas in less than 10 seconds. Like you like. So it's like you get like way other directions of like people feeling generally insecure. I think it's like a weird insecurity thing where it's like if you don't like how you look, you go on the internet and like muscles do nothing. Well, they do a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's like too far in the other direction. But it's like stupid. It's like if you want to learn to fight. Train fighting.
Yeah.
Train a combat sport. And it's like if you want to get big and strong, get big and strong. If you want to do both, do both.
Yeah.
Most people that are doing combat sports have a strength and conditioning routine because they do see value in it. But it's not like they're not spending like 80% of it, unless they're Paulo Costa, which gets fucking sick. Right?
Former combat sport,
bodybuilding. Damn right, let's go. But it's like for the most part, it's like you look at MMA fighters and it's like, well, how much percentage of their total training, how many do they invest to getting bigger and stronger? Mm-hmm. Some, but not the majority. Mm-hmm. Well, that tells you like how much importance it has. Yeah. Some, but not the majority when you take actual training into context.
I feel like there's like that's kind of the same thing as like anytime there's like two separate qualities where it's like running and lifting, where it's like you can just do both.
True.
Like if you that is something you want to be good at, you can just do both. And like there's something like this that are such an awesome cope when people are like, you're not bulletproof.
But you're not bulletproof.
I've gotten that comment multiple times.
Max was getting "but you're not bulletproof" comments when he was like a 16-year-old fat kid. It's the craziest.
I met a YMCA was squatting 6 plates.
It's always
like, I could fucking kill you with a gun, and it's like, yeah, for sure.
It's always some fucking dude whose profile picture is like him in sunglasses in his truck, being like, "You're not bulletproof, though." Yup, for sure, dude.
You definitely could murder the 16-year-old. You're right, brother. That's so cool.
Where you go when it's like somebody needs to alert them that it's possible to have muscles and a gun. That's also a real wild card you could play in this scenario. Where
I bet people who like do like amateur level boxing also get that constantly, just being like,
for sure.
I could kill you with a gun. Like,
yeah, it's just some spaz who's like, yeah, but what really matters is this fucking concealed carry permit. Yeah. I mean, people do the same copes where they're like, yeah, but what happens when a burning truck falls on your kid? You can't pick it up still. What the fuck are you talking about? And it's like people are like, that's a good reason to try to be in shape, is like hypothetical scenarios. It's a little bit delusional when that's all you think about, which I've run into some people where they're just like, yeah, but what happens when you need to jump a fence and scale a building? What?
It's really funny. I feel like the qualities you need to be prepared for like 99.9% of things are like way lower than any, like, if you know how to fight a little bit, you're good for almost any freaking encounter that you need to fight someone.
9 out of 10 people.
If
not more, if you have any combat training ability at all.
If you're moderately strong, that's like, I don't, like, we've gotten a couple, like, I always get comments of like, oh, like, how's it like going through life being so strong? Doesn't affect anything.
Tiring. It's just tiring.
I work an office job, like, sealing tubes, like, it literally,
people
less than once a year doesn't matter that I'm super strong in day-to-day life.
Yeah, people go with like the weird copes where they're like, yeah, but I'm gonna be able to do this. It's like, the rate limiter for like these like panic scenarios that you're fantasizing about all day is almost always your cardio.
Yeah.
And it's some dude that like is in terrible shape half the time that's saying, this is why I deadlift. Well, in that dream scenario, like, why don't you run? That probably comes up in these dream scenarios sometimes.
Yeah, I think if it's like your goal is solely to be prepared for like freak situations, just doing a little bit of fighting, a little bit of lifting, and a good amount of running.
Yeah, just
train, you're so insanely prepared.
Train CrossFit, go to a jiu-jitsu class every week, go to a kickboxing class every week, and you'll probably be in a pretty good spot.
That's always what I think is weird, is when people like have to like associate like training qualities for like some need in life. That it's like,
yeah, it's like, no, I just want to do this because I saw a video of Dan Green and I was like, that's fucking badass. I'm going to try to do that. They're like, yeah, it's like you need like a greater existential justification, which I mean, I guess it's like people do that because it's like when you think about it, it's like how much energy and resources.
Yeah, I'm spending 9 hours a day thinking about lifting weight.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense really. So it's like you have to like, but you're like, well, I want to do this, so I need to find like a reason past just I want to.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, well, I want to carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a big thing. It's just like, because like it brings me fulfillment should be reason enough to do something.
For sure.
Like,
yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Instead of being like grandiose, like I'm here to inspire.
Like, yeah, people are like, why do I lift weights? Because that little boy in the corner that's watching. Shut the fuck up.
Just a little boy.
Yeah, dude, all right, dude.
Dude, you fucking weirdo.
Easy there, Mitch Hooper. You might be winning the Arnold over and over, but
yikes. This guy's thinking about kids too much.
Yeah, no, that's like, I don't know, Mitch Hooper not being like a specific example, but the same thing. People's like Instagram captions are just like, be kind. Dog, I thought we were just doing that. Like, I didn't know we needed to announce it.
Yeah, my gimmick is that I'm not like evil.
I didn't think it was a big deal. Like, yeah, my whole gimmick is I'm not an asshole. Okay. That makes me wonder a little bit the fact that you needed to clarify.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool to be strong in the gym sometimes, but like I think that sometimes like
Speaking of, our gym owner has Billy. We love Billy. He gives us a good discount on our gym membership. Billy's the man. Billy has the funniest, weird, like gym hierarchy philosophy of all time, where he's just like, man, Max and Sam are the strongest guys at the gym, and they're humble. And he never stops saying that. He's like, it's so crazy that they're humble. And at first I was like, why does Billy say this over and over and over? And I gradually got to know Billy, and it's because Billy has like a philosophy where he's like, if you're the strongest guy in the gym, you have the green light to just be a dickhead, and like, because you're the strongest guy there, and he's the gym owner. So we're like, damn, we could have got away with just being menaces, and Billy would be like, yeah, fair enough, they earned it, they're the strongest guy at the gym.
Can't even do anything.
He's like mind blown, he's like, you have the green light to be a dickhead, and you choose not to out of pure kindness. What a guy. I'm like, Billy, I love you, but this is a weird like worldview you have going here.
I do like when I get like comments be like, damn, this guy's so humble too, whenever I'm just like, oh no, I'm just like lifting weights, where it's like, dude, would you be like a dick if you were just like pretty strong?
Dude, I see shit goes to people's head real easy. The number of people I've known that have like anything starts going well for them, they go nuts. So it's like, dude, I thought you were a smart, reasonable guy. How do you not see this is going to your head? People get like the most small Instagram following and start acting like absolute tards. It's crazy.
I feel like that's like a good thing that I had like a brother for that reason, because I feel like that was happening to me when I was like 15.
Oh, no, you were definitely going through
I was heading down the path of being like, I'm getting 100,000 views every time I max out. I am the next guy. And you just like, dog, you're like a decent level teen to Washington lifter. This is the smallest deal on planet Earth.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's like, it's crazy how like the small something needs to be to just like have someone go in sicko mode, like wake up, look in the mirror, and all I see is excellence, dude. Like, it's like, dude, I'm grinding it out to convince myself that I'm not shit at coaching and lifting weights, and someone will be like, yeah, like I bench 3 plates, and just will like go around their gym like shitting on people and giving unsolicited advice. And it's like, man, I'm jealous. I wish I had that, like, just like grab anything, go with it.
Yeah, there's something about being like really like lame about it, like fucking dork mode, about like not being able to be like, oh, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah, being excessively self-deprecating is lame as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like, you get like sports psychology, self-fulfilling prophecy, all that. It's annoying because it's just the same thing over and over. Mm-hmm. Of just like the same guy saying, my poverty bench. Well, fix it.
Yeah.
Like, have a plan to fix it instead of just coming in and dreading your bench day. Like, that stuff winds me up to no end because it's just like, it's so annoying, and it's not quirky, it's not funny, like, it's just kind of annoying. You know, you don't have to be super high on yourself and constantly be talking about your quest to slay dragons and deadlift 1,000, like me and Max.
That's
real delusional.
You just have to think it. Stop saying it out loud. Like, it's totally cool to have these great ambitions. Stop saying it.
We got that never leave the house white guy mentality. Everything is slaying dragons.
So the shoulder tat.
Sigurd the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, like I feel like it was like luckily something I became aware of young-ish.
I just pray like, dude, one of these days somebody will be like, dude, Sigurd the Dragon Slayer is a dog whistle. I'll be like, fuck.
Yeah, you have a couple tattoos that like I'm just waiting to be
just get real unlucky with what I picked. Just be like,
do you know the boar with arrows in it is actually a direct callback? I think it's like having great aspirations is awesome. The number of people who have like shot called the world's strongest man to me,
dude. Yeah, no, I don't think I mentioned this on the podcast. I think I mentioned it to someone in person. So I've coached a lot of people. It's been my full-time job for quite some time, and I've got like a questionnaire I send people when I'm like onboarding them. And the first question of the questionnaire has always been like, what are your goals short-term? What are your goals long-term? And I've talked to Max many times about how there's the craziest ratio ever of if they say in the long-term goals they're gonna win World's Strongest Man or break an all-time total record. They burn out bad within 6 months and give the most mediocre effort I've ever seen for that 6 months. Because I think it has something to do with like they're saying that because they don't actually understand how much work is associated with that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like disrespectful to the people that are doing it, like how little you understand like the time commitment and like physical health sacrifices.
There's sometimes like a disconnect between the idea of like how bad you want it and the behaviors that you're actually exhibiting.
Well, I think a lot of guys say how bad they wish they wanted it. Like they view all of these guys as characters. Like Thor is a character, Eddie's a character, Power. Like, it's crazy how not high level you have to be for some people to view you as characters in like the Instagram lifting world.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to be that good to be like a character, not a person, right? And it's like they like the characters that are like, I would do anything. And presumably those characters actually kind of mean it to have gotten to that point. So they're like, well, if I'm going to be a character, I'll be that guy.
Yeah.
And there's some disconnect. It's like, no, you don't just get to pick your character. You actually have to do it.
Yeah. Just be like, I want it so bad.
If I could be the number of guys that just like poorly imitate Eddie Hall and then give the most half-assed training effort of all time is crazy.
I am baffled when it's like I want it more than anything. It's like you've skipped accessories for the last like 4 sessions in a row.
Yeah, it's crazy. The
About?
guys that say like, "Oh, dude, I would do anything." It's like you skip your split squats every week.
You like refuse to have a clean diet. Like,
Yeah, like let's not
do anything.
Like let's talk about doing the bare minimum to progress. Like I've got people that are like soccer moms that I coach that are just like, oh yeah, I want to see if I can get a little stronger, that are giving a wholehearted better effort than you. Like those people are the ones I know. Similarly, if we're talking trends and people I've seen succeed, which I feel like I've got like a pretty decent like data set because it's past just me with how many people I've coached.
Do you think
like,
you coached over 200 right now?
Oh, for sure. Over the last 6-7 years, yeah.
Also, people who brag about how many people they've coached, bad sign.
Yeah.
If you're like, I've coached 10,000 people,
That
why
means you
have
have
9,900 people fired you?
Yeah.
That is, or you fired them, like you've been unable to successfully
Yeah, that's a
work with
tricky
them?
one because it's like usually with like how coaching works is like you'll cycle through a couple of people that aren't actually that interested in doing this long term, and you find someone you mesh well with that sticks for a long time, and you have to cycle through it to fill each kind of core roster spot. There's some cycling of people.
Yeah.
So if you do really broad-reaching advertising, presumably you're going to have to filter through a lot of people that are not actually that interested. So that's why I kind of like, there's some good coaches I've seen make that weird same like pseudo brag.
I've worked with
a huge number of people. It's like, that just means you have crazy turnover.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, okay, well, depending on how you advertise, how you're finding these people, how serious they are, like, it doesn't necessarily mean the worst in the world. But I've noticed, like, if we're talking opposite end, people that downplay reasonable effort and just like talk about it as if it's normal. Like the athletes that I coach that talk about like, oh, I'm following a nutrition plan, like it's some big sacrifice, seem to get far worse outcomes than people who are like, well, yeah, like I like lifting weights. I heard eating this way makes me better at lifting weights. So of course I'm gonna do it. Like it's not like a sacrifice.
It's a step-by-step process to like get better at something you enjoy,
or even just like the way
what I'm giving up.
Yeah, it's like it's not even like the way they think about it. They just don't refer to it. It's like it's something that's hard, and I think that makes it something that's less hard. Like Jasper always has the best mindset for this. He's like, "Oh, I heard that eating this every day makes me stronger." Okay, like it's not like, "Yeah, I'll make it happen." It's just like, sure, okay, like that's not that hard.
Yeah.
Or like even Nicole, like hired a nutritionist. Right, like wasn't a big deal. She's like, yeah, like, spend some money on a nutritionist. Like, I want to be jacked and strong. That seemed logical. It's not like she's not constantly complaining about how much she spends on her nutritionist, and then also just following. She's like, yeah, well, I pay the nutritionist. Of course, I'm going to follow the diet. I'm not going to like post my story how rigorous it is not eating it like fucking shit every day. I'm a little bicep tendonitis tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do a little fight review right now. Fight is a strong term. How do you feel it went?
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing? Okay.
Yeah, it is jarring knowing, like, of course, I knew this coming in. There's no way you don't do something for 7 years.
Get
the
worse.
skill retains.
Yeah.
That's not how, and I know that. But to go, like, the last time I did this, I was really good at it.
Yeah.
To being bad at it again. Like, I'm sure it would retrain really quickly. I could be exposed to something like that in your fundamental years. Like, there's like a retraining effect, like, mentally. So it's like, yeah, I'm sure if I got in the gym regularly, it'd become back jarring. To just, like, know that, like, that direct comparison of the last 2 times I've boxed, the difference sucks.
Despite getting mollywopped, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty happy with what I did.
Yeah. Max used some dastardly tactics on me. I'm not sure it'll come on the camera, but his Velcro kept coming undone, and it like cut me up.
Stuck some razor blades in the edge of my glove.
Like in the middle of the round, I was like, what is stinging? What is Max, what kind of fucking shitty ass tack did Max like rubbing alcohol in his gloves or something?
Covered in tacky, so it's gripping your skin.
Like, what is Max doing to cheat right now? What is this bullshit?
I bled less than I expected, at least.
Yeah, and then like it's the same thing I've always said, which is like there's the difference between being in good shape and being in fighting shape. Mm-hmm. Part of fighting shape is the efficiency of movement. Mm-hmm. Is like people are like, oh, they're in such good shape. They're like, yeah, they're in great shape, but they're not in any better aerobic shape than like other very high level endurance athletes. Mm-hmm. Their economy of movement's better. That's part of it.
There was like the phrase of like, oh, like whatever sport you grew up doing, like you're just like gonna be like you're able to do that tired.
Yeah, Daniel Cormier always likes to say that. He's like, if you grew up striking, you can strike dead tired. Mm-hmm. If you grew up wrestling, you can wrestle dead tired. It's the other one that you really like gas out and it starts to go to shit. Mm-hmm. And it's like I could tell that was like a difference. Is back then, it would take obviously quite a few more rounds to reach that point of gassing.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of lifetime experience. Okay, well, I'm gassed. Still keep your hands up. Still do this. Still do this. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like a big thing as well, is just like experience fighting tired makes you better at fighting tired.
I feel like if you had footage of me sparring when I was like 13, I think I might have gotten better.
The rage monster?
Dude, I was in 8 years of not boxing, I got better.
Yeah, no, this is what I was telling you. I think that like the difference in athleticism offsets, because you didn't have any skills before. So it's like there's nothing to detrain. You're just.
I had some skills. I was getting in it.
No, you move way more now. Like you didn't bounce around back then. You just like stood flat-footed, and just like.
And went to war, baby.
Like alternating hooks.
I did through some. I
remember that you had an era where I was like, Jesus fucking. I would like watch you spar at the gym, and I think you would go an entire round without throwing a straight punch.
That's sick.
It was just like. It just enter the fucking blender, baby.
The blender. That's how I was going to boxing.
The fucking
Max the blender shit.
Just coming at him like a buzzsaw. Like.
Yeah, that's definitely like, because I was bigger than everyone else that I was fighting, because anyone my size would have killed me. Yeah. And just go like push him into a corner and go.
Yeah. Yeah, those were good times.
Yeah, I don't think they were. But
yeah, that was, I definitely
that might have been the peak of my ego. When I was like boxing, when I was like, I got like
boxing. You were powerlifting was good. You were getting views in your powerlifting videos.
Yeah, I think it was around like 13,
There's
14.
some overlap there.
Yeah. That was definitely like the peak of my ego. It was like going
Chad time.
Beating up some small adult man.
Dude, I gotta find some shit to run away with my ego. Like hopefully the YouTube starts getting big. Yeah. I could just be like big timing people.
Okay.
Once in my life, I want to experience.
I got 100,000 YouTube subscribers,
dude. Once I got that, I'll be pull up in my Lambo, dude.
Like, I personally was like, I don't know if like you will ever let yourself have a fat ego.
I question if I could, honestly.
I just like, no matter what, you're just like, this is dumb. Like you could be so wealthy, but like this is dumb to have a bunch of money.
So
like,
far,
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so far I'm like, okay, what did I think was cool? Being really strong. Mm-hmm. And I deadlifted 500. I'm like, that's shit.
Yeah.
And I deadlifted 600. I was like, well, that's shit.
Yeah.
700. That's shit. 800.
You were a little bit more happy about.
I know, it lasted a day.
Yeah, but Sam had one day of being like a little bit happy with himself.
And then I woke up in the morning. I'm like, 800 is so bad.
Yeah.
Everybody can do 800. And I'm gonna get 900.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be shit.
It's getting worse. It's before you hit them. You're starting to announce them as bad.
Oh, I've been doing that forever.
It's also really funny that last video you were like, guys, just so you know, if I start saying great lifts are bad, forgive me.
Yeah,
and at the start of this video, you'd be like, 900 deadlift is bad. You heard it here first.
Like I said, you guys are gonna have to forgive me for that. I know it's wrong. I'm not actually trying to be a dickhead.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have like 2 days of really a huge head still if I had like a really good lift.
I know, because you're like, I'm gonna deadlift 880 next block.
We haven't seen otherwise.
Max hits me with a wild prediction every single time he has like a good deadlift session. He like comes home, he's like, dude, I'm doing 850 like this block.
You gotta think, you know, if you shoot for the moon, you end up among the stars.
And then the next week he hurts his back.
Yeah, or I pulled some big deadlift viewers.
Yeah.
You just gotta have those aspirations.
You've called 840 so many times now.
Yeah, I've not failed a rep.
And then hurt yourself.
I have not failed a rep.
That's not true.
What rep if I failed?
I've seen you put down reps all the time.
That's not failing.
You're like, oh, that was really bad. Oh, my back.
All the time?
Yeah.
When?
You like start to pull the rep and you're like, never mind.
Never comes off the ground though.
I think it probably does a little bit.
We'll see. Maybe this will be the vlog.
All right, that's all we got.
Short one. I think we're both a little bit tired of watching. Next week, banger, heater, guaranteed.
Damn right.